Well, we're at Fort Missoula, which is a very well-known and important part of the whole city history. And we're inside the St. Michael's Church, which I call the oldest building standing in Missoula County. Lewis and Clark came through the Missoula area, coming and going. I would say fur traders and traders in general, plus vigilantes were around. And they came on the Mullen Road, which was a very important road from Walla Walla, Washington to Fort Benton, Montana, built by the military. John Mullen was the head engineer, and there's still remnants of it. And actually, part of the Mullen Road is now just a residential road in west of Missoula. And they founded a town there. Actually not a town, they founded a store. Then this church was built in 1863, and it was called Hellgate Village. So that was the center of commerce for people coming and going on the Mullen Road for years and years, trading post. And then in 64, I believe they moved into what is now downtown Missoula with a mill, because they had the Rattlesnake Creek as the water source for a sawmill and a grain mill. And from there, the city just expanded through the years. There weren't many people here to start with. It was all commerce, and I'm sure there was some ranching going on and some minor logging, but the logging didn't really come in until after 1900 in a big way. And they logged all over this valley, and they used narrow gauge railroads, and they had logging towns, and the Anaconda Copper Company came in here, and they were the big logging outfit. And there's remnants of some of those places all around when I say the Missoula area, clear up to Celia Lake, which is 50 miles away. I would say in the 1880s, 89 is when they built a large number of buildings right downtown. But the Missoula Mercantile, which was the biggest store in town, started with part of the building in 1877. So actually you could go back to the mid-70s when building really started going on in downtown. And now, of course, it's taken up the whole valley, but at the time it was centered right down by the Rattlesnake Creek, which went into the Clark Fork River. University of Montana, which it started as Montana State University, was chartered in 1893, and the first building's main hall was opened in 1895, which is still there. It's a general university, liberal arts, no engineering, that's all over in Bozeman. However, we have one of the most well-known and finest forestry schools in the country. Also, believe it or not, in this town, one of the finest literary or creative writing schools. And it's pharmacy and chemistry and all the liberal arts. And then in 1933, President Roosevelt started the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, and made Fort Missoula a staging area and the center for all CCC camps in Montana, including Glacier and Yellowstone National Park. And that lasted until 1942, when they ceased to exist. But they had a school out here. They had a lot of buildings out here for transients to stay until they went to their camps. Our military museum was built in '37, and that's one of the CCC buildings. Well, there's a lot of working people here because we're a major railroad center here, and we still have the two factories that are wood process type. But now this has become a big tech center, and there's a lot of tech work going on. We're also really big in nonprofit conservation groups, and a lot of them are right here at Fort Missoula, their headquarters. So we're a mishmash of everything, and of course the university brings in the professors and the students, So I would say we're as cosmopolitan as you can get, really. I would call it the literary capital, maybe of the Northwest, but certainly of Montana. We have two publishers here. One of them's me, and then Mountain Press is the other one. But we have a lot of authors here. And we've had a few conservation newspapers and newsletters, and a lot of books have come out of here. National sellers, we have James Lee Burke, who's a nationally known fiction mystery writer, lives right here in Missoula, and has written a lot of books, and I think movies have been made, and just authors every place, and more than any other place in the state that I'm aware of. I think it's two things why so many are here. One is the university, because we have this creative writing school, which is nationally known. And the other is just the ambiance of the town and the recreation, and being a nice town that doesn't have a lot of big disasters like hurricanes and tornadoes. We have forest fires is our main problem here. And it's not right in Missoula, but it's all around us. And that's our big deal in the summertime, is forest fires. Well, we're pretty liberal here, more democratic. The conservative, if you want to call it that, is more eastern Montana, which is more rural and more ranching. Our main political guy to come out of here is Senator Mike Mansfield. But before that, he was the youngest soldier that, I think I'm telling you right, in World War I. I think he was 15 when he joined. Then he became a university professor here for years, and then he became a senator and the majority leader, and extremely well known worldwide. And then he became the ambassador to China after that. One of our biggest industries, not only in Missoula, but the whole state, is tourism. And Missoula is great because we're kind of in the middle between Yellowstone Park and Glacier National Park. Beautiful scenery and the recreation, to me, are the two big draws for anybody. And I know a lot of doctors want to come here just because of that. And, but you'll see bikes in the summertime, locals just all over the place. We have a very famous fishing called Rock Creek, about 20 miles east of here, that is nationally known. Big game hunting is a big sport here in the mountains. Moose, not so much moose, elk, deer. We have a lot of mountain goats, very hard to hunt. We had at one time 2 ski areas here. The one left is the snowball ski area, which is, it's a local area, but we get people from all over the country. And there is housing up there, but it's mainly more a local area than anything else. It's only 13 miles from town. Not too many towns in this country can have a jet airport and a major ski area 13 miles away. Not even Salt Lake City can say that.